Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men Real Style. Today I'm going to be talking about the difference between a single and a double-breasted jacket. All right, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing that, these videos will come right to you. And if you like this video, if you find it useful, I'd appreciate it if you would like it right down there. And last but not least, if you want to learn more about men's style, I've got a great 47-page ebook that's waiting for you. Just got to grab it, go to the link right down there. All right, this is the question that came in. Antonio, I was just wondering if you could explain the difference between single and double-breasted suit jackets, and under which circumstances would you wear one instead of the other? All right, so let's go ahead and start with the second part of that question first. Now, there really isn't an event in which you wouldn't be able to wear either a double or a single-breasted in which a suit is being called for. Now, understand that a double-breasted jacket is most of the time going to be associated with a suit, although you will see double-breasted jackets in blazers, and those can, of course, obviously not be worn. They're not worn as a suit, and they'll going to call for a little bit more formal of trousers. You wouldn't really want to wear a double-breasted blazer with jeans because normally double-breasted is a little bit more formal than single-breasted. But since single-breasted has become so popular throughout the world since World War II, and the double-breasted is really a very small percentage of suits now, most people don't recognize that distinction, and so there isn't really going to be. The only place I can think is if you attend a meeting of the Society of Double-Breasted Men and everyone's wearing a double-breasted suit, you might be a little bit out of place if you decide to wear your single-breasted jacket. I just made that up. I have no idea if that society exists. And if it does, I probably won't be becoming a member because most of my jackets, in fact, all of them, are single-breasted. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between single-breasted and double-breasted. Most of us are familiar with single-breasted jackets. They come in 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 buttons. I stay away from those. But the 1-button single-breasted jackets, mostly in formal wear, 2-button, 3-button, make up more than 95% of all the jackets out there. And that's what most of us are going to see. Now, double-breasted, the big thing we're going to notice is that they've got extra fabric that's going to fold over, again, from, what size is this? From left to right, we're going to see a larger amount of fabric that folds over, and we're going to see 2 rows of buttons versus 1. And normally we're going to have either 4 total buttons, 2 on each side, or we're going to have 6, which is actually the classic and the more original. The 4 came a little bit later. And within these, we also see which buttons fasten changes. So occasionally we will see when you have 3 and 3, we'll see 2 fasteners. Sometimes we'll only see 1 fasteners. And when you've got the 2 and 2, you will also see 2 fasteners and sometimes 1 fastener. Now, whenever you have the 1 fastener, what that does is it allows the lapel to roll down lower. And that can create this is usually going to be for men who want to appear taller. And what this does is it creates a little bit more of a vertical line going down, and it creates a slight illusion. The Duke of Kent, I think he's credited with the 4-button and with that lower cut there. But just a little small style detail. So that's probably the first thing I should highlight, which is the advantage of the double-breasted suit, is it's a bit more stylish. It's a bit more cutting, a little bit more fashion forward, just because so few people can actually find one, and even fewer can actually pull it off, because you've got to get the fit right on the double-breasted. It's not as forgiving as the single-breasted jacket. So the double-breasted jacket, the fit's got to be good. It's going to be more stylish simply because it's going to call for other things, not only paying attention to how those buttons come together, but also the lapels. So on the lapels, we always see peak lapels on a double-breasted jacket. Again, that's another reason that it's always considered a bit higher up on the formality scale. So the last thing I'll say with the double-breasted is it is a little bit less versatile. So there would be occasions that if you want to give like a more casual feel, you're not going to see double-breasted in sports jackets. It's kind of like an oxymoron. A sports jacket is about as casual of a jacket as we would want to see out there, while double-breasted is the style of it is going to be for the more formal, higher end up there. So to try to mix those, it's like mixing oil and water. You just don't want to do it. The blazer, however, is where you will see the double-breasted, and a blazer, as we've talked about in other videos, is a little bit more formal than a sports jacket, and the suit right up here and black tie right up there. And you can actually see double-breasted in black tie as well. Very rare though. All right, well, hopefully that has helped you understand. Last thing I'll say about double-breasted, though, is if you go with the 6-button configuration, make sure it looks like a Y. Never go with the V. If you see a double-breasted suit that has the V buttons, basically where they start farther out and then slowly come in, run. That is not a classically designed jacket, and is a small thing that I always look for on a double-breasted. And again, go for the Y look, not the V look. Okay, I'm going to link to another great article down below on double-breasted suits and jackets and all that stuff. So if you want to learn more about it, I talk about it in well over 1,000 words right down there. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.